Well, number one was to build the executive team. To run a great business, you need great leaders.
Over the past few years, Red Lobster has cycled through multiple CEOs, closed over 100 stores in 2024. Now with $70 million from Fortress, Adam Mulliken has a lot to do. What's your to-do list look like?
A sizzle on a plate should mean fresh steak meeting a hot skillet. But at one popular chain, that sound is often just water sprayed onto cold metal to trick your senses. If the battlefield of chain dining is full of decoys, how many times have you already fallen for them? Today we're exposing the 5 restaurants running culinary deception ops, and the 2 rare allies still fighting with honest craftsmanship in their kitchens. Once you see the tactics, you'll never look at a menu the same way again. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great! Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. 5 names dominate the field. They line up like allies, flying banners of comfort food and family dining. But step closer and you see the truth, these are decoy units in disguise. Applebee's is a clear case. The sizzle you hear as the skillet arrives isn't heat from fresh cooking. It's steam from a splash of water, meant to mimic fire on iron. Proteins are not grilled from raw but often pre-cooked and reheated. Frozen dips and appetizers cycle in from supply warehouses, staged under bright lights to create an illusion of care. What lands on your table feels immediate, but it's often the work of freezers, not chefs. Chili's follows a similar playbook. Ribs arrive boiled and sealed in plastic, then branded with quick char so they look fireborne. Fajita strips and chicken come ready-made, only reheated before service. We weren't really cooking. We were just reheating and plating. That's not field craft, that's assembly. Health checks frequently flag issues with temperature handling, weak points in the chain's defensive grid.
I spoke to the new CEO at a Red Lobster in Orlando to learn what it will take to save the chain from sinking. America, we are open. Are you doing that throughout your fleet of restaurants, basically to kind of get past the bankruptcy?
That was done before I took over.
Crazy undervalued, in our opinion. When you look at the fundamentals of the company, the cash flow that we generate.
Next, TGI Fridays. Boxes of frozen starters form the backbone of their arsenal. Burgers cooked in bulk get reheated under heat lamps, leaving rations rubbery and lifeless. When orders stack, food sits in the heat zone well past its safe window, and morale collapses under the strain. Olive Garden disguises industrial strategy as warmth. Pasta is pre-cooked, sauces pumped from bags through water baths, breadsticks thawed then glossed with garlic butter. The grandma's kitchen story is just camouflage for central logistics. Safety hazards pile up, raw meat stored poorly, produce lingering too long, microwaves racing against the clock. Red Lobster anchors the weakest flank. Tanks showcase live lobsters, but the bulk of seafood is thawed long after capture. Endless shrimp promos force cooks into mass pre-cooking, holding trays for too long until texture collapses. Together these 5 chains show the same tactic, speed and illusion over integrity. But then, not every unit has abandoned honor. 2 rare forces still stand their ground with real discipline. In a field where most units cut corners, 2 commanders still enforce discipline. They don't lead with smoke and mirrors, but with drills, standards, and the kind of order you can feel when the food lands at your table. These are the rare allies who hold the line.
Year in and year out, the stock at the moment is not anticipating what we think are the fundamentals of the company and the potential for growth.
Close over 100 stores in 2024. Now with $70 million from Fortress, Adam Mulliken has a lot to do. What's your to-do list look like? It's worked before. He revitalized P.F. Chang's during COVID. Fortress hopes he can do the same for America's oldest seafood chain. I actually had dinner here last night.
Oh, did you?
And I have to say one of the things I first noticed was the banner outside, basically like, we're open.
Texas Roadhouse is the first. Their kitchen runs with the rhythm of training exercises. Steaks are cut on-site each day instead of arriving in sealed boxes from a warehouse. Racks of meat are aged under controlled conditions, handled with steady oversight. Rolls rise from dough mixed in the back, baked in batches throughout the day, then deployed with fresh cinnamon butter made in-house. Nothing about it follows the frozen playbook. Where many chain units stumble under inspection, Roadhouse often rises. Their training pipeline emphasizes meat handling and precise cooking temperatures. Thermometers are not tools forgotten in drawers but instruments checked constantly, like weapons kept combat-ready. Health inspection scores confirm the point, evidence of systems holding form under pressure. Employee accounts from inside describe not just routine but pride, men and women saying their work feels like cohesion in a unit where every role matters. Contrast that with Red Lobster's weak flank. Seafood sitting in thaw, shrimp held too long, tanks used as display, but not here. Roadhouse treats aging and storage as precision logistics, not weakness, and the difference shows in safety and taste alike. Then there's the Cheesecake Factory. By sheer size of its menu, it looks like chaos waiting to happen. But the surprise is control. Dishes are cooked to order rather than pulled pre-made, even with options stretching across cuisines. Kitchens here act like a command post running a wide front with discipline intact. Inspection records and ingredient sourcing reflect a system that can handle volume without surrendering integrity.
Lobster out of
bankruptcy,
more than $1 billion in debt, a serious financial pinch,
and back to profitability.
Applebee's has seen declines for 8 consecutive quarters.
If I were to poll the investors in terms of what's important to the stock, I would say Applebee's same-store sales, for whatever reason, kind of punches above its weight, and it might just have to do with...
The elephant in the room is Red Lobster's bankruptcy. When Red Lobster filed, it was over $1 billion in debt and had to...
Well, number one was to build the executive team. To run a great business, you need great leaders.
Over the past few years, Red Lobster has cycled through multiple CEOs.
Together, these two chains prove that even on a large scale, honor and preparation can survive. And your choice to support them is not just taste, it's a tactical vote in a battlefield where many others operate by deception. Every meal is more than flavor. It's a vote on the field between two forces, those who trade in shortcuts and illusions, and those who still fight with skill and discipline. When you sit down to eat, you choose which side to reinforce with your money and trust. So what would you do, reward chains selling illusions, or stand with allies still fighting for honesty? Comment your choice below. Subscribe and join a community that seeks to understand the realities of modern conflict, on the battlefield and on your dinner plate.